Welcome to the audio experience of KimberlySueIverson.com, a redhead rewriting reality and multi-genre author. I am your host, Kimberly Sue Iverson, and today I'll be sharing with you a story that's close to my heart. If you prefer to read along or explore more stories, visit my website at KimberlySueIverson.com. This audio experience is for an adult audience. Themes and topics may not be appropriate or suitable for all audiences, so listener and viewer discretion is advised. Now, get yourself comfy as we dive into today's tale. The Chewbacca. So, this may end up being all over the place. This post was started before Chewbacca passed, but I finished it after he passed on. I wanted to do a post around knowing the thoughts of others and presuming things, but decided instead that I would put that off until next week. This week, I will do this for Chewbacca, and I won't combine it with another, as I often do. So here goes. Let's hope I can get through this, more so the audio version, without crying or tearing up one time. I'm still missing him so very much and so very deeply, so the pain is really raw and fresh still. Couldn't even read that. Okay. I'm starting this post on Sunday, the 11th of August, and we will see how quickly I get it done. Chewbacca is having a nightmare right now, too. A slight one. Fortunately, I was able to get my other post done completely with the video-audio version of it, because I'm not sure if Chewbacca has long left. That was the post on creating a story. So I will probably be ugly crying, busy burying him, and not in the mental space to do anything of use by the time this hits. Well, this especially, since it's 2 weeks from now, but the other that will post for the upcoming Wednesday, the 14th, share as well. I'm sure that makes little sense, and it doesn't need to. Yesterday, Saturday the 10th, Chewbacca started to have the breathing shift, sort of a raspiness to it. He only got up to have a little water in the morning, I think, but night I do remember for sure. Then he slept the entire day. He would get close to me in the chair and whine, then settle once I rubbed his head. The weakness was settling in, and Kona and Lucy spent a lot of time by him. They are by him right now. I woke up this morning to him coming over to lay against me, and Lucy came up to cuddle by him. He needed my help to go potty today, unlike the other days, and he drank water in the morning, but not even close to what he's been wanting. He whined some, so I set him in my lap and rocked him, sung to him, talked to him, then checked to see if he wanted water or to go potty, and he had no interest in anything. So I settled him back in his bed. Kona keeps picking on both him and Kendra, but especially Chewbacca. He will root near him and bark at him as if he's trying to say, "Get up," but Chewbacca doesn't stir. So I would be surprised if he even has a few days, let alone a week. I just hope his passing is easy and not hard. He's always had such a good, easy life and never really had a lot of problems, outside of one time I can think of where he'd had a stomach ache for a few days to the point my mom took him to the vet. We remembered he'd grabbed some stuff that fell off the pizza, and there may have been a piece of onion in it. The vet just gave him something to calm his stomach, and he was much better. A Purina probiotic powder. Outside of that one thing, he'd never sprained an ankle, had his back go out, had complications from being anything. He's been a troublemaker and a half, though. If stuff got quiet when he was young, it was, uh-oh. He'd once torn apart gift bags under the tree because he knew there were dog toys in them. I came home to a mess that night. He's always been such a really calm, smart, troublesome but complacent dog, loving and sweet. So I want his passing to be worthy of him. Calm, peaceful, pain-free as much as possible. Well, I'm continuing this post now, on the Saturday nearly a week to when I started this. It's now the 17th of August. To say that Chewbacca has passed on. And hopefully by the time this posts, or I have to do the audio, I can go without crying. 2 days ago, he got to the point he didn't really want to get up. It's funny now, but I don't entirely know what made me go, it's coming. I can recall trying to get him to go potty, and normally with my help and supporting him, he'd stand to use the bathroom. Because he knew I would support him once he began, so he didn't fall down. He didn't. He just lay on the potty area. So I used the doggy diapers that a neighbor gave me from her dog passing. They were meant for Mila, but I decided to save them with the idea that since Chewbacca and Kendra are and were getting close, they may be able to use them. Yes, they fit Mila perfect, but the Doberman hair is very coarse and oily, by nature so slick. It's hard to even get her wet when bathing. The water just slides off, which is what kept happening with these diapers too. I was correct. The diaper was big, but worked for Chewbacca. Only to realize when I first put it on, he'd gone where he'd laid before I took him to potty. I'd tried to give him water, and he just barely could take 2 dropperfuls before he quit, and the water just couldn't be swallowed. So that was the point I set up a blanket with a trash bag inside of it to catch any leaks he may have while I held him, and just sat with him on my lap for 2 days. It was the end of that second day of doing so that he'd passed in my arms. I'd talk to him, love him, but mostly that was all he needed and wanted. Me there to sleep with and be held by him. I knew it's what he wanted, because the night prior to all of that, he came and snuggled alongside me in bed, something he didn't do. He just wanted to be close. A few days prior, he'd crawl off his bed and stop near my feet, wanting to be held. It's why I'd shared a photo of him being held on my Facebook profile. He'd just want me to hold him. Bear in mind, this was my mom's dog, not mine. When she passed, he became mine. He was never really like that with me. Wanting me hold him, cuddle him, hug him. Temporary was fine, but long moments? Oh no, Kim, I'm not cuddling with you. The last day, he ended up having these moments where he'd yelp. Occasionally seemed to try to get up, as if he was asleep and not here, but trying to go somewhere. Maybe like a transition period. I talked to my best friend, and we both felt like maybe it was him seeing my dog who passed, who he loved as much as Kendra. Who knows? I like to think so, and there's no harm in that, so it gives me peace of mind to think. Maybe Amber was coming to say, "Come on, let's go play. I've been waiting for you." It didn't seem like he was in pain. I'd thought fear at first, but it seemed almost like a yelp of, "I'm trying to get there. I'm coming." He began losing his bowels and bladder on Thursday, which was my birthday. I'd clean him and sit with him again. I'd talk to him. I mostly worked on my phone, so I could just hold him. I am fortunate I was able to do that. As hard as it was, I honestly am grateful for that time because it's all he wanted, was me to hold him and be close to him. He was sleeping peacefully in my lap the whole time. When I'd rub his head and talk to him, he'd sigh and relax, stretch out, sleep and dream. My brother even tried to call the vets and shelter that morning, he tells me, to ask them for mercy on him, so he didn't have to go through that. They all wanted money. No money, no help. So we got the best passing for him that wasn't just worthy of him, but was easiest that I think he could have had, next to just an instantaneous death. Because he was comfortable, sleeping, in my arms, and passed quietly and without fuss. Unlike my cat, he didn't actually lose body temperature too much, slightly on the ears, but I'd have to take the blanket off to cool him down. Probably since he was on my lap, my warmth came from below and offered that to him. My brother was commenting on how he started to smell vanilla a lot after Chewbacca passed, and I told him that was Chewbacca actually. He smelled really sweet. It was just his own scent. I realized when I smelled it again today, yeah, I guess that's a scent it was close to, vanilla. Why I kept breathing him in when I'd kiss him. He just smelled like a sweet little boy. Chewbacca was born on May 10th, 2007, and he passed August 16th, 2024 at 7 p.m., the day after my 44th birthday. He was 17 years old and 3 months. The night before he passed, I was talking to him about a lot of the stuff I remembered from him too. I was rubbing his head, kissing him, and telling him we would be okay without him. But he was always welcome to come back later and visit too if he wanted to. I was talking to him about the times he would con me into letting him in my mom's room earlier for bed. Because I was thinking he wanted to go to bed early, so I'd open the door when I'd head to bed. Only to find out no, he didn't want to go to bed early. What he wanted was to tear stuff up. He'd known that she had toilet tissue around her bed, so he went in there to grab the wadded up pieces of paper and tear them up on the bed. Totally conned me. There was another time where I was the first one to get home, as I mentioned above and previously, only to find Christmas presents all over the floor. He decided that since he knew there were some dog toys in certain bags, he would tear them apart looking for the toys and leave the evidence all over the floor. Because Mr. Chewbacca didn't tend to care whether he was going to get in trouble or not. He was just fine with being naughty for naughty's sake. He had a leash and collar that said, "Bad to the bone." Yup, that was him. When we first got him, he was the only puppy I'd ever seen who had such a solemn and sorrowful look to his eyes. There was this lack of inner light to his eyes. The people we got him from, I don't think treated him well. It always made me sad when I'd look at him. I took pictures of him then, and you can even see it. As the months wore on and he began to play with Sabrina and Amber, you could see him coming out of his shell and being happier and happier so that the light began to grow. He would follow me around and just appear out of nowhere when I'd be cleaning, spooking me like nothing else. I remember the first time my chickens had seen him. He was just the friendliest guy and would be like, "Hi!" Meanwhile, they'd freak out going, "What is that?" Other times, I'd be in the kitchen cooking, and this little black fluff would come in there and watch me work, so I'd walk over and kiss him on his little nose. Chewbacca loved sitting with his face pointed up, as if asking for kisses while he'd do that, so I was happy to oblige. Even kept doing it, knowing what had happened. Have I mentioned he was a good little con artist? A total Casanova. My mom and I knew, too, that if things got quiet, that was a problem. It'd be one of those, "uh-oh, where's Chewbacca?" moments. Because when it got quiet, that spelled trouble. And trouble it often was. I'm not sure there was ever one of those moments that didn't lead us to finding something he'd done. He was a rambunctious and naughty little guy most of his life, even when his sight started to go, and even when the age began to show, and the struggles with walking happened, it never stopped. Even during the whines of pain, he still never stopped being the way he was, a naughty little fellow, full of life and happiness. When Kendra, his quote-unquote wife, would walk past him, he'd take his time to smell her, to get close to her, and she would rub up against him. So him having simply gone to sleep, basically, was the best thing we could have ever asked for him. He will be sorely missed every single day, because that was not just any dog. That was Chewbacca. I don't doubt that Kendra may not hold on as long now. She is the other one who is close to passing. She is the other we need funds for, to help with her. So if you feel guided to and wish to help with her, all of my stuff has links to Ko-fi. It's what I use those funds for. The dogs, the utilities, nothing more. She is going to be as hard of loss as him. But without him, I'm just not sure she's going to hold on. She's already shown such a disconnection from life and is getting to that point. She eats little and sleeps most of the day. The first night he passed, she did something out of the ordinary and came unto the bed he was always laying on, then went straight to his place and laid down for a bit. My brother and I have been trying to give her a little extra time, plus the other dogs. Not that I don't always try to do that. They always get their own individual time. But right after, I was especially trying to do it. May 10th, 2007 to August 16th, 2024. 17 years and 3 months. We will miss you more than words, Chewbacca. More than words can ever express. More to come. Thank you for reading and subscribing, or listening in this case, to a post that has taken me multiple times to read through, many breaks, but like a new friend had said, that talking about him would be good, because it does help the pain not be as bad. I know how valuable your time is, so it means so much that you're here, and I am beyond grateful you chose to spend this time with me. What are your thoughts? Have you had a pet pass recently? If so, I am sorry that you relate to this pain. Engage with me and start a conversation. Just don't be rude about it. if you'd like a chance for your story to be read and featured, get in touch at storiesToRead@KimberlySueIverson.com. A new episode and blog is dropped every Wednesday on KimberlySueIverson.com or on YouTube under Kimber Bites. That's KimberBites, Kimber Bites. And don't forget to check out my Ream subscription page. Another chapter is up. I am releasing Guardians of the Void chapter by chapter over on Ream right now. I will be releasing my Priestess World as well soon, long before the public gets the books. You'll be able to read the chapters as I write them and help with the world. You'll get to read extra scenes that may not make the cut either. This is still being thought out on how I will, so they haven't been posted yet, but stay tuned. Also, that world is still in progress, but I have written almost 3 books. I'm nearing the end of the 3rd one. That's the one that when you follow me on social media, if you see the updates, that's the one it's about. If I actually do some writing and get all excited, that's typically the world I'm writing in. So check out reamstories.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. That's reamstories.com/KimberlySueIverson. reamstories.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. That link also will be in the description box below, unless I completely forget to add it, at which point you can remind me.